PTE Help. Lecture number 1.
Cities are interesting places. Some cities are carefully planned, built for a reason, and reflect the needs of the people as it grows. Others are less conscientiously designed. Paris, for example, was originally founded in the 3rd century as a small village, and with every passing generation it grew in size and importance. It grew from a medieval city to a modern city, but the transition was not always smooth. Emperor Napoleon III had to hire someone to oversee the rebuilding of Paris. The man he chose was Georges Eugene Haussmann. In 1853, Haussmann began the process of renovating France's capital city. His basic instructions were to bring light and air into the central districts, improve the sanitation and living areas, and make Paris a more modern, beautiful city. Not your average weekend renovation. Haussmann's projects included the destruction of the old medieval neighborhoods, widening of streets, building large parks and public squares, and addition of fountains and sewer lines. To add to all of this, the size of Paris had to be increased, doubled actually, and Napoleon III issued official decrees annexing nearby suburbs to make them part of the city. One of the main priorities of this massive renovation was to connect all of the districts together. If we think of Paris like a house, each district was its own room, existing essentially independently of the other districts. Napoleon III wanted it to be easier to travel between the most important districts, and to create a sense of this being one unified city, not a series of independent neighborhoods. So Haussmann created large avenues that connected the districts. More than that, he made all of the avenues look roughly the same. Buildings on a major avenue were required to be roughly the same height and style, and even had to use the same cream-colored stone for the facade. The result was to remove any local characteristics and create a uniform Paris. For the first time, the city had a specific look, a style that people began to associate not with a district, but with Paris itself.
Cities are an interesting place to live in. Some cities are therefore very well planned, but some are not. Paris, for example, was turned into a modern, beautiful city from a small village in the medieval time under the supervision of Napoleon. Some infrastructure process was done, such as sanitation, beautification, widening streets, uniform design, etc. The main aim behind turning it into a modern city was due to having ease of travel and connecting different districts and cities together. Its size was almost doubled.
PTE Help. Lecture number 2.
The chili pepper has a long and fascinating history. Its scientific name is capsicum. Now this is different than the common black pepper you have on your dining room table, whose scientific name is Piper nigrum. Black pepper was first cultivated in Asia, and it was prized in the West as early as the Roman Empire. In contrast, the chili pepper originated more than 5,000 years ago in South America, near what is today Bolivia and Brazil. Over time, it spread to Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean. But it wasn't until Columbus came in the 1490s that the chili pepper became known to the rest of the world. As stated in the Cambridge World History of Food, within 50 years after Columbus returned to Spain with sample plants, chili peppers could be found growing in coastal areas from Africa to Asia. From there, they spread inland until they had taken hold of the taste buds of people around the globe. Today, they're most widely used in Mexico, Central and South America, Africa, Asia, the Balkans, and the United States. Carolyn Dilley and Susan Belsinger, authors of the Chili Pepper book, estimate that 25% of the world's adult population uses chili peppers as a part of their daily diet.
According to a research, 25% of the world's adult population use chili in daily diet. It has a long, fascinating history. Its scientific name is capsicum. It is somehow different than the common black pepper. Around 5,000 years ago, it was firstly originated in South America near Bolivia and Brazil. Afterwards, it was spread to the south from the South America to the Central America and Mexico. In 1490s, when Columbus arrived in America, he took samples with him, and thus it was spread from Africa to Asia and to England and to the whole world.